Unlock the divine. 12 prophetic insights to manifest miracles this solar eclipse and sacred equinox. Anna stood beneath the azure sky, trembling with a mix of hope and fear. The villagers gathered at the old chapel, their faces illuminated by an ethereal glow. Today marked the sacred equinox, coinciding with the solar eclipse, an event many believed could unlock miraculous wonders. Miracles are coming. Just look, she whispered. A pulsating energy filled the air, the kind that made the hair on the back of her neck stand tall. As the sun and moon began their celestial dance, a collective breath caught in the villagers' throats. They prayed, voices rising in unison, reaching for the heavens. St. Jude, our faithful protector, heal our dear Jacob. The chapel reverberated with fervent pleas. Suddenly, Anna felt a rush, a warmth enveloping her heart as she caught a glimpse of the sacred light piercing the shadows, a divine vision, a revelation to rally the community for a day of fasting and prayer. But as soon as hope swelled within, shadows of doubt danced just outside. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Is it just a trick of the mind? Some whispered, their faith wavering. With each hesitant thought, the once blazing faith of the village flickered like a candle caught in a gust, testing Anna's resolve. Her heart sank under the weight of skepticism. What if they're right? What if prayer holds no power? But Anna clung tighter to her vision, pushing through the division that threatened to splinter them. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the eclipse deepened, a mournful atmosphere draped over the chapel like a heavy shroud. With Jacob stricken and weak, the village scrambled for medical solutions, wonderful herbs and tonics. Yet nothing eased his pain. The frenzy turned despair into discord, and the collective hope began to feel like a distant memory. Yet through all the clamor, Anna felt a quiet pull, a gentle yet insistent whisper that urged her on. With darkness beginning to blanket the land, they gathered once more, hearts united in prayer. The chapel radiated an otherworldly glow as their cries reached a fever pitch, a chorus of souls crying out for a miracle. Just as darkness threatened to engulf their spirit entirely, it happened one by one. Miracles danced through the congregation. A child stood taller, breathless yet healed. An elder lifted their weary hand, strength returning. Gasps of disbelief filled the air, igniting flickers of hope anew. Anna's heart raced. Were these the signs she'd prayed for? As the eclipse began to wane, a profound understanding settled among the villagers. They were at a crossroads, a moment of divine choice. Would they unite under hope and faith, or would confusion drive a wedge through their bonded hearts? The shadows receded, leaving them with the echoes of miraculous transformations. Questions now swirling within as the sunlight broke through. Their journey was far from over. As light slowly returned after the eclipse, Anna watched the faces of her fellow villagers. Hope mingled with apprehension. Their recent miracles had strengthened their spirits, yet doubts still lingered like autumn mist. What do we do now? A voice called from the back, breaking her reverie. It was Sarah, a young mother whose eyes sparkled with a mixture of fear and wonder. Anna stepped forward, heart pounding. We need to gather our strength together, she urged, her voice firm yet gentle. This is just the beginning. We've tasted the miracle. We must embrace faith with both hands. Eager glances exchanged among the villagers. Not all were convinced, but Anna saw determination flickering in the depths of their souls, igniting her heart anew. In unison, they moved to the altar, where the flickering candles cast an inviting glow. Let us pray. Let us come together as one body, seeking answers in reverence, Anna called. Slowly, one by one, they knelt. The humble chapel filled with the sound of whispering prayers, a mixture of pleas for healing, thanksgiving for answered cries, and hopes for continued blessings. Lord, we desire your presence among us, Anna prayed, her spirit soaring like the birds circling outside. We acknowledge our struggles, but we also celebrate these moments of grace. Help us to trust and to lean on each other. A profound silence enveloped them, and for a moment it felt as though the heavens stirred. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and an elderly woman stepped inside. It was Mora, known for her wisdom and deep-rooted faith. Her silver hair shone in the soft light as she approached with a serene smile. "My dear ones," she spoke, her voice steady, "I felt the call to come and share something with you." The villagers turned toward Mora, intrigued. She raised her hands to hush their murmurs. "During the eclipse, I had a vision. It was not of despair, but a promise of abundance and restoration. Open your hearts and listen, for the miracles you have witnessed are but breadcrumbs to what is to come." A wave of excitement rippled through the chapel, hearts beating wildly with anticipation. "What do you mean?" A voice rang out with hopeful urgency. Mora continued, "The celestial signs remind us that the universe aligns in favor of those who believe. You must continue this path united to gather your full potential." Anna felt the energy shift, felt the whispers of hope rise higher. "We mustn't stop now," she said, emboldened. "Let's continue to pray, to seek, and to share our blessings with those who need it the most." As they prayed together once more, an unusual warmth enveloped them, a tangible hug from the divine. With each heart moved toward faith, one miracle turned into another, fractals of divine light filling the sacred space. But just as hope began to swell, an ominous chill slid down Anna's spine. Deep rumblings echoed beyond the chapel, and the air thickened. She glanced at Mora, wondering if the vision carried more than they understood. "What lies ahead?" The villagers whispered anxiously amidst the thickening tension. Would they face trials even greater than before? In that moment, Anna realized their faith must be even stronger, for they would need divine strength to guide them through the shadows. The sun stood firmly in the sky, now unmarred by the eclipse. Still, a sense of urgency swirled in the air. What new challenges awaited? Anna closed her eyes, seeking solace in prayer. Would they remain united in faith, or would fear fracture their newfound hope? A sense of foreboding settled around them, reminding Anna that the journey was far from complete and the looming question hung heavy. Would their faith be enough when the next trial came? Endless reflections lingered in the air, awaiting the unfolding of the next miracle. What revelation might they uncover when the sun shone brightly upon their path? The rumble outside grew louder, reverberating through the walls of the chapel, as if the earth itself was sharing the villagers' anxiety. Faces turned pale, hearts quivered, yet Anna sensed something deeper, a call to courage and unity. Her breath steadied as she raised her voice above the unsettling sounds. "Fear not, for we are protected when we stand together." The villagers exchanged uncertain glances. Yet, Anna's conviction punctured the gloom hanging over them. Allow the warmth of faith to fill this space. Personal doubts can spark, but it is our faith that will quench any fire of despair. Mora stepped closer to Anna, her weathered hand resting gently on her shoulder. "What you say is true, dear one. There is much to learn from our trials. It is in the fires of challenge that we are refined. Remember your prayers, trust that they are being heard." As Mora's kind words settled amongst the group, Anna felt the strength of their shared spirit grow. She beckoned them to rise. "Let us take this moment together," she said, moving toward the wide-open chapel doors. "To face whatever is outside, not in fear, but in faith." Her voice rang clear like a bell, reverberating through the hearts of those present. One by one, they stepped forward, a sturdy line of resolve forming behind her. The air buzzed with anticipation, the weight of their shadows suddenly lighter under the brightness of their collective hope. When Anna pushed the door open, sunlight poured in, brushing against her skin like a tender embrace. Beyond the chapel lay the open fields that had served as their sanctuary. Yet now, a gathering storm rolled ominously in the distance, black clouds swirling fiercely above, as if reflecting their innermost fears. Gathering herself, Anna turned to face the villagers. Look how beautiful the light is, even against darkened skies. Remember, miracles come after the storms. Trust in your hearts. They have seen the divine. With stepped breath, they laughed together, exclaiming words of faith and resilience, their voices rising up like a sweet melody of hope and anthem against circumstance. They marched forward, out into the open, arms entwined and hearts connected. Suddenly, a flash of lightning split the sky, illuminating the land for a fleeting moment. Anna gasped. It was both terrifying and beautiful. "The light will always return," she remarked softly, her eyes shining. "Even in darkness, there is a promise. Let us not cower in fear, but lift our eyes toward the heavens." Just as that thought settled into their hearts, the ground beneath trembled, not in threat, but in invitation. The villagers sensed a shift, a beckoning to act upon their newfound courage. An unusual wind rose, swirling around them, urging them onward. "What shall we do?" asked Sarah, her youthful voice carrying a mix of concern and eagerness. "How do we follow where this leads?" Anna paused, catching the essence of the moment. "We will gather as one, sharing our gifts, our stories, our voices. For every person has a miracle waiting to be unveiled. And then we will trust in him to show us the path." As they positioned themselves around the fields, Anna felt a surge in her spirit. Was it the same warmth that had embraced them inside? With every word spoken, they created a tapestry of faith. Stories flooded forth, moments of grace, instances where the divine had sheltered them, when hope had sprung unexpectedly amidst despair. Miracles flowed like a wondrous stream, shaping their sorrows into testimonies of light. Yet, amid the stories, a cautious whisper crept in again, tracing its way through their hearts. What if this was all for naught? What if the storm could break their spirits instead of refining them? The storm loomed ever closer. But just as the wind began to howl, the villagers stood sturdy, united. They cast their doubts away, gripping tightly to their collective prayers. Would they embrace this moment of testing, rekindling the deeper flame ignited by the eclipse? In the heart of uncertainty, their resolve deepened. This path of trust was theirs alone to walk. The drama of the moment hung heavily in the air, promising transformation. And the question remained, what awaited them on the other side of this unfolding storm? The wind picked up, swirling around the villagers as they stood together, their hearts beating as one. Anna felt a pulse of energy, a vibrant current flowing through the group, shedding light on their fears. As the storm approaches, we must anchor ourselves in hope, she proclaimed, her voice unwavering. Let us create a circle of trust, where fear cannot penetrate. The villagers nodded, voices intertwining in agreement. They formed a circle, hands clasped tightly, forming a physical bond that echoed their emotional unity. Anna could sense the warmth growing within them, a soothing balm against the backdrop of approaching darkness. "Let us pray," Anna suggested, lifting her voice above the wind's howl. "Let every word be a feathered prayer sent skyward, let it rise like incense." And so they prayed, a steady chorus of voices rising into the air, filling the spaces between them with faith-fueled hope. The words danced amidst the breeze, shimmering like silver, wrapping a protective veil around their gathering. Anna felt the temperature shift around them, as if nature herself acknowledged their efforts, creating a sanctuary amidst the impending storm. As they finished, Mora lifted her head, eyes glistening with unshed tears. Each prayer opens our hearts, reveals our strength, and stirs the air with possibilities. When we breathe together, we breathe life. We embrace our faith. A flicker of excitement rippled through the circle. Few knew of each other's struggles, but in the warmth of this moment, They all felt vulnerable, yet empowered. Share your stories. Anna urged again, speak them out loud. Let the world hear the miracles that sustain us. One by one, the villagers began to retell their experiences. Adrian spoke of the job he thought he'd lost, only to land a better one just in time. Rachel described the shadow of grief that had loomed after her mother's passing until she found unexpected joy in creating a flower garden in her memory. With every revelation, the storm clouds seemed to darken less, their grip loosening as if the heavens relished in the vibrance of their faith. As Elizabeth spoke of her lost child and the peace that followed after years of mourning, a collective reverence wrapped around her. Tears of loss intermingled with shimmers of joy as the congregation listened tightly, every word a seed planted upon fertile ground. With each story of resilience, the gathering storm hesitated. The clouds shifted slightly, a glimpse of blue peeking through the gray. Anna felt the energy surge with each testimony. Was there power in their shared vulnerability? Feel the shift, Anna encouraged. This is the essence of hope. Our faith is the thread that binds us. Look at how we've transformed our hardships into testimonies, like threads woven into a grand design. The villagers dared to look up. The sun flickered through the clouds, casting brilliant rays that sparkled like gemstones upon their faces. Yet, just as the light appeared, deep rumblings rolled through the heavens, an ominous reminder of the storm's persistence. Shadows stretched again, but the villagers remained firm, each heart filled with purpose. As Anna beheld their united faces glowing with newfound faith and courage, she felt an urgency swell within her. What if we are called to be the light? What if the storm ahead is but a backdrop for our greatest miracle? In that moment of collective awareness, a tremor of understanding sparked a vision of what could be. Together, as a family united in faith, they stood at the edge of transformative possibilities. For this test would be pivotal, leading them further into a divine unfolding. But then came a shift in the air, a tension that froze them in place. What lay ahead in this moment of reckoning? Would their light be bright enough to pierce through the darkness? As the wind howled louder, a sudden crack of lightning cracked the sky, illuminating visions yet hidden. The villagers held their breath, waiting for the divine revelation to come forth. What would their next step be? What awaited them on the other side of the storm? A hush enveloped the villagers as the air crackled with tension. Anna felt a weight settle over her heart, yet her spirit soared. The lightning had illuminated more than just their surroundings. It had unveiled possibility, igniting a flame of courage within every soul present. What do we feel in this moment? She begged, her gaze sweeping over the assembly, vibrant faces captured in a dance of uncertainty and hope. What is the message hidden in the storm? Voices stirred, tinged with excitement and fear. Petros spoke first, his voice trembling yet resolute. The storm, isn't just a challenge. It's a teacher. He paused, eyeing the swirling sky. Maybe it's calling us to step into our strength. Anna nodded, emboldening her heart with his words. Yes, Petros, let us not shy from what lies ahead. Each rumble is a call to grow, to trust in the unseen. We are the light during this darkness. As she spoke, a surge of conviction swept over the group. The storm roared, yet their spirits soared higher, as if shared faith lifted them toward the heavens. Each person stood taller, eyes reflecting the glimmers of hope breaking through the clouds. This was transformation in action. Then let us be witnesses, Mora cried. Let us show the world that even in chaos, we stand united. We will not falter. Their cries echoed in the wind, wrapping around them like a melody. With every heartbeat, they summoned their past stories, the shared narratives that bound them. Each tale became a beacon of light, flickering bravely against the shadow of the storm. Look, Rachel pointed toward the sky. The clouds parted briefly, and the sunset hues painted vibrant oranges and soft pinks. Do you see that? Even a moment of beauty amidst the tempest. Adrian stepped forward, his voice strong now. Facing our fears has always laid the groundwork for miracles. It is by embracing the uncertainty that we can find our way. Around the circle, souls resonated in agreement. They leaned in closer together now, hearts beating synchronously as if writing a new story together. In that moment, they became more than individuals. They transformed into a collective force of sacred energy. "Anna, what do we do now?" whispered Elizabeth, who had battled silently with her grief. With newfound trust in her voice, Anna replied, "We embrace the light within. Let us be bold in our prayers. May each word carry our hopes into existence. Let us declare what we wish to manifest." As they closed their eyes and held hands tighter, the storm raged on, but the villagers were no longer afraid. They sent their prayers like arrows toward the heavens, a mix of groans for the lost, whispers for healing, and shouts of gratitude for every blessing received. Each prayer forged their connection, a lifeline pulling them closer to divine wholeness. A sudden gust of wind roared through their circle, rolling the dark clouds back once more, revealing the gleam of the upcoming moon. Its silver light spilled over them like warm balm, washing away doubt and uncertainty. The air shimmered with divine promise. "Will you speak your truth?" Anna beckoned, her eyes shining bright. "What do we want to see at the end of this storm? What miracles shall we claim?" But just as the villagers gathered themselves to share their desires aloud, a fierce bolt of lightning illuminated the sky again, sharper than before. It felt like the heavens themselves had leaned down to listen. What will unfold next? Will the storm heed our call? Hearts pounded with anticipation. The air pulsed with unanswered questions. As shadows danced on their faces and light flickered in their eyes, the villagers stood at the edge of something sublime, waiting and wondering. What miracle awaited them beyond the violent winds? What awaited when the storm passed, revealing the seeds of their faith sown in the heart of darkness? The air around them remained electric, a palpable reminder of both divine presence and deep uncertainty. As the villagers stood together, their breaths shared in a sacred rhythm. Something shifted within the group, a mingling of fear and fervor. Anna sensed the change first. It was as though the storm itself had received their prayers, swirling and reshaping into a new energy, stronger, more vibrant. "Can you feel it?" she whispered. "The storm is responding. It's alive, listening." Petros looked up, or written across his face. It's as if every thunderclap is a reply. It's a conversation we started. Mora clenched her fist, brimming with newfound confidence. "Then let us speak louder. Let each of us voice what we long for, what we dream about, what we believe should emerge from this tempest." With a shared look of determination, Anna opened her heart. "I desire healing for every wound, seen and unseen, to be addressed." As those words lingered in the air, Rachel spoke next. "I crave unity. May every fragmented soul around us find a way to connect." Adrian's voice followed, powerful against the backdrop of the storm. "Let us declare abundance. Let our community blossom with prosperity and hope." One by one, their voices rose, weaving a tapestry of dreams, a collective wish full of light, passion, and faith. Each declaration harmonized beautifully with a rumbling thunder, resonating as if the storm itself celebrated their courage. Yet, as they began to bask in this moment of unity, a greater wave of darkness crept forth. The winds howled more fiercely, and the vibrant light that had flickered momentarily flickered again, almost snuffed out by looming clouds. "Hold on," Anna urged, rallying her companions. "This is precisely the moment we need to hold our faith firmest. Every storm demands our strength." Elizabeth's voice trembled but held depth. "What if our hopes come crashing down? What if we see only despair?" Silence followed her question, a haunting pause buoyed by the threats hovering in the air. But in that silence, Anna felt a spark ignite. In these doubts lies our opportunity to deepen our faith. She focused on the gathering of the villagers, their faces illuminated by the impending storm. Miracles often hide where least expected. What if the very chaos we fear becomes the catalyst for our transcendence? As if on cue, the thunder boomed in a powerful affirmation, shaking the ground beneath them. Every heart seemed to synchronize again, beating through the storm's clamorous challenge. Believe, Petros yelled, his voice cutting through the tempest. Believe that the outcome will witness the strength we nurture today. Suddenly, as if in response to their surge of faith, the ever-darkening clouds cried out, releasing a burst of rain, a cleansing, holy cascade washing over them. The air was heavy, but their spirits danced, unearthing joy even amid the deluge. "I feel it," exclaimed Mora, laughter breaking through her joyful tears. "We are alive in this moment. Even in adversity, we are being birthed anew." The group began to laugh and cheer, raising their arms into the rain, welcoming every droplet as a blessing rather than a burden. It felt like a divine embrace, a promise that in their struggle lay transformation. In that moment, while they reveled in their joy, a sudden flash illuminated the world around them, and time seemed to stretch. Anna turned her gaze upwards, catching sight of something astonishing. Out of the chaos, a magnificent rainbow began to form, arching against the dark sky. "Look," she pointed, her voice a mixture of wonder and awe. "It's a sign, a promise of hope." But with the beauty came the reminder of challenge, a duality echoing their own journey. What would they each need to surrender to walk boldly into that promise? As the villagers marveled at the miracle, an unspoken question still lingered among them. What were they willing to sacrifice in pursuit of their dreams? What truths and burdens must they lay down to embrace the divine future awaiting them? The storm continued, but amid the downpour and brilliant colors, the villagers stood intertwined, reaffirming their faith together. What would it take to manifest those radiant visions to life? Their gazes returned to Anna, awaiting her guidance once again, poised at a tipping point towards something extraordinary. What divine adventure awaited them next as they stepped forward into faith reborn? The rainbow shimmered, its colors vibrant against the somber sky, a promise whispering through the raindrops. Anna felt its power, urging transformation, yet a stillness hung in the air. What would it take to unlock the fullness of that promise? The villagers shifted, eyes wide with anticipation. Each heart beat as if in sync, yet beneath that collective hope, uncertainty bubbled. This is only the beginning, Anna thought, a mix of wonder and trepidation swelling in her chest. "Anna," Petros broke the moment of reverence, his voice steady yet penetrating. "What do we need to do now? What comes after this? How do we turn our dreams into reality?" The question hung heavy in the air. Anna opened her mouth, but words seemed to flee, evading the charge of commitment. Suddenly, the clouds drew back, revealing a scattering of stars against the eastern sky, shy but steadfast. "Look," Rachel gasped, her finger pointing toward the heavens. "They're coming out one by one, just like our hopes." Adrian stepped closer, encouraged by the shift. "We must ask ourselves, what can we do, not just wish for? Faith without action is merely hope." Maura stepped forward, her brow knitted in thought. "Maybe we should explore our fears, what keeps us from moving forward? Each of us has something to let go." "Yes," Anna exclaimed, the divine spark igniting creative urgency in her heart. "Perhaps expressing our fears will manifest victory. When we shed those burdens, we can embrace his light." Facing each other, they formed a circle. The rain continued to fall lightly, cleansing them of the past while bolstering the present. "I'll start," Elizabeth offered, stepping into the middle of the circle. "I am afraid of rejection. I hold on to the fear that my dreams will be cast aside, and that leaves me paralyzed." As she spoke, a wave of understanding rippled through the group. They had all faced similar fears, burdens they carried alone but were now bringing into the light. "Then let us break that fear together," came Maura's encouraging call. "Let us shout it out together. We'll support each other." One by one, fears were acknowledged and lifted. The murmur of voices echoed through the storm, creating a patchwork of vulnerability and strength. The clouds above swirled, reflecting their earnestness, harnessing their voices into an energy that felt electric. I fear my past mistakes define me, Petros shared hesitantly. I wish to break free from guilt. As he spoke, Anna felt the air thicken with emotion. Then, let us declare healing. You are not your mistakes, and with God's grace, there is redemption. The group resonated. Yes, echoed Rachel. To shed these burdens, we must also open our hearts to healing. As words of deliverance flowed, Anna felt a deep mingling of peace and resolve settle within her. The very storm that threatened to drown them now seemed a conduit for purification and rebirth. Once more, the vibrant colors of the rainbow flared overhead, intensifying as each revelation took flight. It felt like a divine response to their collective fears and assurance that they were not alone. Touched by the moment, Anna addressed the villagers again. Do we see? This is the power of community. The courage in our vulnerability breeds strength in our unity. The divine is here with us. But as cheers erupted once again, the wind shifted. A chill swept through the air, casting a reminder that they still face challenges ahead. What lies beyond this moment? Whispered Elizabeth, a shadow crossing her face. Anna met her eyes, feeling the weight of the question. What will we do now with this newfound clarity? What next step will we forge together? With the storm framing their resolve, hope mingled with uncertainty once more. Each villager felt the call within, a beckoning toward transformation. Would they have the strength to step boldly into the unknown, to manifest the dreams thrumming in their hearts? As they braced together against the elements, the air crackled with the anticipation of what was to come. The time was nearing for a decision, a leap into the divine unknown. What destinies awaited them just beyond the horizon of resolve? As the last echoes of cheering faded, a heavy silence fell upon the villagers. The once vibrant colors of the rainbow seemed to dim against the increasing darkness of the clouds. It was a moment pregnant with promise, but shadowed by the weight of what lay ahead. The horizon, where light met darkness, called to them with a haunting allure. Anna looked around at the faces illuminated by the faint glow of revelation. Each gaze held a flicker of hope mixed with uncertainty. We have shared our fears, she began slowly, the urgency of her heart shaping each word. Now, we must turn our focus towards our dreams. What do we desire? What are we willing to chase, even when it seems impossible? Petros nodded, encouraged by her words. I have visions of a community living in harmony where no one feels alone. But how do we ignite that in each heart standing here? By being the example ourselves. Rachel interjected fervently. Love begins with us. We must reflect that light and let it spread, like the stars breaking forth in the night sky. Anna felt a thrill pulse through her. Exactly. We need to act in faith. It's not just about what we dream. It's how we choose to live those dreams daily. Are we ready to support one another? Yes, they shouted, enthusiasm bubbling up like the dawn breaking over the morning dew. There was a lifting in the air, a sweetness that seemed to hide the potency of their resolve. Yet, with each burst of hope, the winds swirled again. The clouds thickened, traveling ominously overhead. A low rumble echoed in the distance, a reminder that their journey would not be without its trials. But what if we fail? Elizabeth's voice trembled slightly. What if we take those first steps and find ourselves lost? Failure is not the end, Anna responded quickly, her confidence strengthening. Every failure in the journey is a lesson waiting to unfurl. Think of the lessons in the storms. They teach resilience, pushing us deeper into faith. Adrian stepped forward, his spirit ignited. What we need is a plan. Let us commit to a series of actions. Small steps that bring us closer to our dreams together. A vision board, suggested Mora, her eyes lighting up. Let us gather our hopes, our dreams, and place them where we can see them daily. Yes, the group erupted again, each voice weaving a tapestry of communitarian spirit. They began discussing small gatherings, sharing meals, prayer, and encouraging one another. It was the birth of a community dynamic that felt powerful. Suddenly, a flash of lightning illuminated the night. In that brilliant moment, Anna felt the divine presence brushing against her spirit. It was as if they were being watched over and guided. "Do you feel that?" she said, her voice filled with awe. "That is divine affirmation. We are not embarking on this journey alone." As the thunder rolled in response, there was a collective sense of stirring. They were not merely villagers. They were vessels of potential carrying love and support for one another. But in the depths of her heart, Anna understood that the challenge was more profound. The call would demand not just unity, but sacrifice. They would need to step beyond comfort, embrace the unknown, and fight through the doubts that would whisper insistently at the edges of their courage. "How do we summon the strength?" asked Rachel, vulnerability evident in her eyes. "We pray," Petros declared, a fire in his tone. "We call upon the divine to guide us and grant us the courage we need. We seek his wisdom and strength to transform our dreams into our reality." The air surged with possibility. They bowed their heads, united in purpose and spirit, inviting the divine to walk with them. As they surrendered their fears and dreams into prayer, Anna could feel the ground beneath her shift. The rain began to fall again, but this time it felt refreshing, bringing clarity and focus. Would their faith and steps be enough to embrace the promise that hung like a rainbow above? With the call of destiny lingering in the wind, Anna opened her eyes, already feeling the next wave of courage surge within. What direction would they choose to take? Would it be the blurry uncertainty or the unwavering brightness of hope? The adventure was just beginning, and the path ahead shimmered with the energy of change. As the rain fell gently, each droplet seemed to carry a whisper of encouragement, a soft reminder of the love that surrounded them. The air was thick with anticipation, buzzing with the unspoken promise of transformation. The villagers stood together, a fabric woven from many colors, each thread vital to the whole. Anna felt a stirring in her heart. Something divine was unfolding. "Let us create a pact," she suggested, her voice firm yet tender. "A commitment to lift each other up. In our struggles, we'll share our burdens. In our joys, we'll celebrate together." Petros raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "How shall we bind this pact?" "It must be sacred. Let it be through our actions," Rachel proposed. "Every time we help one another, every prayer uttered for a neighbor, we strengthen this promise. It's not just words, it's living it out." A murmur of agreement swept through the group. The idea infused them with excitement and energy that felt almost palpable. With the looming threat of darkness still hanging overhead, they needed every ounce of light they could muster. Mora, eyes sparkling, exclaimed, "Let us start small. We could organize a weekly gathering, maybe a prayer circle or community meal where each of us brings a dish. It's a chance to share not just food, but our stories, our dreams." "Excellent idea," Adrian exclaimed, enthusiasm radiating from him. "These gatherings can translate our dreams into action. They will bind us together like the strands of a rope, stronger when twisted together." As they brainstormed, each suggestion seemed to spark another, growing like a wildfire fueled by their collective spirit. Elizabeth's timid voice broke through. "But what if someone doesn't show up? What if we struggle, our plans unfurl in ways we don't expect?" Anna placed a reassuring hand on Elizabeth's shoulder. "Then we embrace that too. Every twist and turn is part of the journey. Remember the storms? They teach us resilience. If someone stumbles, we lift them. If plans go awry, we find joy in the discovery." The group nodded, inspired by her confidence. Bound by a new sense of unity, they leaned into the unknown with hopeful hearts. The first crack of thunder rolled again, but this time it felt like a drumbeat of affirmation. Each whispered promise of faith began to echo in their minds, urging them forward. "Should we decide a date for our first gathering?" Petros asked, the urgency in his voice palpable. "Next week," Adrian declared. Let us put that vision board into action. As the agreement settled in, they felt a shift in the atmosphere. A warmth enveloped their circle, a sense of being cradled by something greater. In that moment, Anna could feel the invisible arms of the divine wrapping around them, whispering their approval. Let us pray again, Anna suggested, a charged energy running through her. They all bowed their heads once more, eyes shut tightly, and together expressed their dreams into the universe. Prayers flew like vibrant birds on a gentle breeze, each carrying hopes of love, strength, and connection. Suddenly, a deep stillness descended, quieting the rumble of thunder and the patter of rain. It was as if time held its breath. Anna realized it was not merely their words that floated upward, but something deeper, an offering of their very selves, raw and sincere. In the silence, they felt it a crystal-clear intention binding them. It surged through Anna, igniting a blend of excitement and trepidation. What awaited them was still obscured, a part of the divine mystery yet to unfold. Then a flicker of light shot across the sky, breaking through the thick clouds above. Was it hope? Was it a sign? Amid the uncertainty, this radiant glow seemed to proclaim that their efforts would not go unnoticed. With an enthralling urgency, Anna turned to the group. This is just the beginning. Are we prepared for what's coming, the joys and challenges of our pact? Because whatever lies ahead, we must face it together. As their hearts ignited once more with collective conviction, Anna realized they were on the precipice of something magnificent, but what awaited them beyond the horizon, amidst the dark clouds of fear and doubt? The divine journey had just begun, but shadows lingered on the cusp of clarity. As the villagers stood amidst the rain, hearts united in prayer and purpose, a powerful stillness began to take root within their spirits. Anna felt the energy shift, a promise woven through the droplets that kissed their skin. The tension of the impending storm remained, yet something magical danced in the air, a divine calling that echoed through every fiber of her being. Today is the day we embrace faith fully, she proclaimed, her voice ringing clear above the gentle rainfall. We're not just seeking individual miracles. We're harnessing the might of community, a sacred bond that can ignite transformation. Petros nodded, determination shining in his eyes. Together, our voices become a chorus that resonates with the heavens. We must be bold. Anna felt the rush of hope swell around her like a warm embrace. The villagers leaned closer, tethered by threads of trust, as they began to share their dreams one by one, their collective courage manifesting brighter than the fading storm clouds above. Rachel stepped forward with newfound bravery. I dream of a healing space, a sanctuary where all may find comfort, support, and love. A place where stories can be told and hearts can mend. A ripple of agreement surged through the group. They grasped onto her vision like a lifeline. It was clear they stood on the brink of something profound, something that required every ounce of their faith and fervor. Then Adrian spoke, emboldened. Let us channel our energies into creating this space, a hub of kindness where we can celebrate each other's victories and nurture one another through our struggles. He had struck a chord. Promises began to coalesce in the air like sparks igniting. They envisioned transforming the old hall on the edge of the village, a place that had once echoed with laughter and joy, now a shadow of its former self, just like their collective faith had dimmed. Mora, the wisdom keeper, clasped her hands together. It will take commitment. We must pour ourselves into it, heart and soul. Let every gathering be a seed sown to blossom into revitalized connection. Absolutely. And in the process, let us not forget to extend our arms beyond these walls. Anna urged, her excitement bubbling over. We'll share our blessings with others, inviting them into our circle. The vision expanded, untethered from limits. Along with hopes, they began to address their fears openly, holding each revelation with reverence. But what about our doubts? Elizabeth's voice broke through, filled with both anxiety and desire. We will cast them to the winds. Anna replied with fervor. With every prayer we offer, we sweep away uncertainty. We embrace our vulnerability and celebrate the steps we take as a community. As words of affirmation filled the air, the storm clouds started to fade, revealing patches of blue mingled with bursts of sunlight peeking through. It was the heavens mirroring their shifting spirit, letting them know their resolve was not unnoticed. With connection rising like a tide, they turned toward the chapel, hearts united and gazes raised. Let us venture forth, Anna encouraged. Today, we plant the seeds of hope. This day will shape our story. They marched toward the old hall, the rhythmic sound of their footsteps resonating in harmony, a unified heartbeat reverberating their determination. The air crackled with anticipation as they stepped onto the path before them, the sun breaking through with renewed brilliance. Inside the hall, dust motes danced in the sunlight, filtering through the high windows. They looked upon the space that lay before them. "This is it," Petros announced, his voice full of faith. "We will breathe new life into these walls." As they gathered together, forming a circle, Anna led them in a prayer of gratitude and purpose. "Lord, guide our hands and hearts. We commit to this journey to sow love, to nurture one another's dreams, and allow your light to shine brightly in our community." A hush enveloped them. The weight of their prayer felt like a tangible embrace, winding through the air and settling in their souls. Yet even amidst the solemnity, an inner thrill ignited. They were ready to be the light. One by one, the villagers began to share ideas on how to revitalize the hall, turning their dreams of healing into structured plans. Bobbing heads and eager questions painted the atmosphere with a shared commitment. Days turned into weeks, and slowly but surely, the hall transformed. Paint was brushed onto weary walls. Laughter echoed again, and hearts grew fuller. Each villager poured love into the structure, into the very essence of what they were creating, roots of faith dug deep into the soil of hope. Not only were they creating a healing space, but they also were rejuvenating their spirits, each act of kindness rekindling the fire in their hearts. The divine spark had ignited a movement, empowerment rippling through every shared story. But amid their joy, the storm still loomed on the horizon, a neat reminder of trials that had shaped them. And as they continued the work, they understood that every moment carried weight, every blessing shared forged a lasting imprint upon their journeys. So today, we see how when trials are met with unwavering faith and unity, miracles reveal themselves, blooming like wildflowers after a rainstorm. As the sun began to set on another fruitful day, Anna stood back, surveying the hall now buzzing with life. "Truly, this is just the beginning," she whispered. "Let us continue to embrace the light, for miracles await us." And now, my faithful friends, this is the moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to our channel so you don't miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and let us reach more precious souls. Comment your reactions and testimonies below. What did this journey mean to you? And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. True servants of God know the importance of lifting each other up,